What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and yes, I haven't gotten a haircut yet, but never fear, because I will get it
today.
Maybe. And welcome back to another episode of For the Greater. Gersh, tell him what it is, what it isn't, and what it will forever be now until the end of time.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question, and we get to those questions first. And you might be asking, why should we even ask you questions? We've been making lore videos since the dawn of time.
You're living at a time of extremism, a time of revolution.
That sounds pretty bright.
Anyways, this question comes from Bartosz Tomaskowski. How would the story of 40K go without the Age of Strife? I mean, if the Empire easily suppressed the Men of Iron and still flourished and expanded. Think of the Tau Empire. So if there was no Age of Strife, meaning there was no chaos, psyker, destruction, and there was no Men of Iron, so AI was still controllable, humanity would really rely on technology, just like the Tau rely on their drones and whatnot. And I think they would be more peaceful. They would work together because only together
You
can
sure
survive.
humanity can work together?
I think so. I think that, the only thing that I could see, coming up is, religion, right?
Well, I mean, ever since... religion's always been a huge thing that causes war and stuff like that.
But and then that was the big thing that the Emperor was, always trying to push away, or humanity away from, religion. So I think that, if anything, different planets would have different religious things, and then the Emperor would come out, because without the Age of Strife, there would be no unification war, there would be no Emperor. The Emperor would come out when civil war, in terms of the galactic, I'm just going to call it Galactic Empire, because there really was no name for the human empire, I guess. The human empire would will break out in civil war because of probably religious beliefs, and then the Emperor would come out and try to unify that way, I think.
Right, but I feel like even though the Emperor's doing this and kind of leading humanity on that prosperous road, there's always going to be those certain empires and groups that are like, yeah, we'll follow you, but we'll secretly keep teaching our religious beliefs. And eventually, this is still going to create that separation. Eventually, this group's going to gain more power, and another civil war is going to take place.
So do you think then that chaos would be as big of a threat?
Still, yeah.
Do you think that Space Marines would exist?
Eventually, yes. Probably not as early as the Emperor had to bring them out, but yeah.
Maybe instead of Space Marines, we would have Thunder Warriors, which were more brutal and savage. And they would be controlled by, planetary governors. That'd be actually kind of cool. Each planet would have their own version of Thunder Warriors, not Space Marines. And Thunder Warriors,
basically, Space Marine chapters actually being represented as Thunder Warrior soldiers, yeah. Each planet has their own variety.
Yeah, and they're ruled not by a chapter master, but they're ruled by a planetary governor. And again, they're not regular Space Marines, so they're way more brutal and way more barbaric. Dumb.
You say dumb, but that's not necessarily calling them dumb, though. They're just not as tactical.
Yeah. Because another thing too that I hear a lot is that Space Marines, Space Marines don't interact with humanity because they have there's a cockiness to them, but in reality most Space Marines are naturally charismatic, and because that's the trait of a leader, and that's what a Space Marine is. It's just a really good leader. Each one can be a really good captain, I guess. And that is something that we don't talk about. Whereas the Thunder Warriors, I don't think they would have that charisma.
No, they'd rule more with fear than with tactics.
It'd be the
respect,
the world eaters type of thing.
Yeah.
Good question though. Next one.
Developers Playground. What if all humans in the Imperium were actually Space Marines?
Cool.
I mean,
there'd be no sex. They couldn't reproduce.
True.
Yeah, it'd be pretty bad.
I mean, there'll probably be another fighting force above them to be equivalent to that of the Space Marines now. So it'll probably be the same thing.
It'll be Primaris.
There you go.
Yeah.
But then their Primaris would have another thing above Primaris.
Which would be the Uber Primaris.
Mm-hmm. And the Lyft Primaris.
Next question comes from Bruce Tommen. Does the warp extend beyond the Milky Way galaxy? Or is it something unique to the galaxy? It's something unique to the galaxy. We've talked about this before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next one.
I'm just laughing because apparently somebody said the Skull of Thrones instead of the Throne of Skulls.
Oh yeah, I did. I remember that, the Skull of Thrones, and then I even pictured like a skull made up of thrones. When I was editing and I heard myself say that, that's what I pictured, like a skull made up of a bunch of thrones.
Like thrones as in like where you sit, or thrones as in the monetary.
Like the money thrones? No, like thrones is where you sit. Because I thought of a specific throne too. We used to play Hero Clicks, and I think it was for the 25th anniversary, no, the 10th anniversary of HeroClix. They came out with a Marvel DC like box set, and the HeroClick model for Lex Luthor, but like the because there's two versions of him.
Oh,
the one where he's sitting on the throne. That's the throne that I thought about. We used to play HeroClix. That's what you got out of that. Next one.
All Might. What's the one thing that you wouldn't want to see ever happen to your favorite armies, the Orcs and the Tau, that might make you quit playing them?
They melt in my car.
If they literally, like, let's say I was carrying them in a box and I tripped and fell and they broke into millions of pieces, or even if they just broke like once or twice, like, I don't want to glue them. Like, right now I have 2 broken models in my room that I've said for the past 2 weeks that I was going to glue and like fix them up, and I got as far as putting the glue next to them. And then, like, I see them because like that's where I edit and stuff, and I see them right there, but I just never do it. Is that procrastination?
That is procrastination. That's big time procrastination. I think the biggest thing for me is surprisingly, if I have too many models of one thing. Like, I think
that's the thing with the Orcs though. You play mobs.
Well, no. Well, exactly. So I have 30 boys that I need to paint, and just thinking about painting 30 boys just puts me off. So then, like, I don't do it, and they've been sitting there for a good 2 months. Same thing with my Imperial Fist. The only reason that I started painting my Imperial Fist again is because I don't know where they went, and like I ended up finding a small box with, I think, ironically, 30 just regular infantry, and I was like, I'm gonna paint these because I know I have like a massive Imperial Guard army somewhere, but this bite-sized chunk is good enough for me to paint and build.
It's all about perspective, guys.
Exactly, yeah.
30 boys is too much.
Yeah.
But 30 Space Marines, that's perfect.
Exactly.
Now, what about gameplay-wise? Like, what if they implemented a new rule or something? What would make you stop playing Orcs?
If they got rid of the jump. If they got rid of the jump, I would, like, give up. Because then what they're trying to do is start using our cool, like, what is it? What are they called? Speed Freak bullshit. Yeah. Like, no, dude, I don't want to play Speed Freaks. I want my infantry to just appear. Give me a teleporter device or keep the jump. If you get rid of that, I don't want to play Orcs. I don't want to play Speed Freaks. I want to play mobs and mobs of boys that aren't painted. What about you?
I don't know. I feel like if they give the Tau like really good close combat stuff that's not Farsight specific, then I'll be like, well, what's the point of even having Farsight? Like, that's the thing that makes him cool. Like, they're shooty, but they also are pretty okay in combat. And if like the rest of the Tau have that, it's like they're red, cool.
Yeah, but they all have Kroot, right?
Well, that's the thing. The Kroot is supposed to be a supplement, but I'm saying like the Tau themselves.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't think you that won't come up.
Right, I shouldn't have to worry about that.
Hopefully.
I don't know, maybe if they get this god that's in the warp and gives them psychic powers, who knows what'll happen.
Maybe check out that 40 facts on the Tau having a god, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next question comes from Faking It 66. Are you saying God School? It sounds like you're saying goods or God School.
Like God School?
God Skull. Happy?
God School Mag Uruk Draka.
There you go. Next one.
James 70112. How many chapters of Space Marines have been completely wiped out? And who was the most effective at doing this?
Tons of Space Marine chapters have been wiped out. The average is 1,000 chapters that exist.
Right.
But there's constantly some living and dying. And though I guess if you want to pinpoint a specific individual, it's Chaos. Chaos has been.
You sure?
Yeah, because they had the cursed founding.
True, but Tyranids have been, eating a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Like they've been wrecking the Blood Angels mainly.
Yeah.
But I mean, you do bring up a good point, because Chaos not only destroys them, but they also bring them into their ranks.
Yeah.
So like, if you count losing a whole chapter as by losing them to the Imperium and going over to Chaos, then yes.
Yeah. Yep. They're hardcore. And then all in one go, like I was saying, the 13th founding, or the cursed founding, was the one where it's just like an entire, like, I don't know, half dozen or dozen chapters went out just like that. Next one.
Stefan Corki? Are there Chaos Adeptus Arbitus?
Adeptus Arbitus are the arbitrators, right? Like judges?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Really?
Yeah. They're just men. They're just like cops. They're the cops of 40K, away from the planetary government. Yeah. Next one comes from Debo90. Hi there, guys. Thanks for all your great videos. What would happen if a Necron destroyer gets infected by the flare virus? He's gonna want to skin people.
Yeah. Get flayed.
Get laid, if I didn't say that. Next one.
Faginit66. In a short story entitled Hunger, a Space Marine uses Psyker abilities to locate a Tyranid Broodlord on Space Hulk. I thought that Tyranids had the Shadow of the Warp, which prevented Psykers from using their powers. So why didn't this happen in this instance?
Shadow of the Warps do not prevent... They're not like nulls. So the Shadow of the Warp is not nullifying the warp. It's clouding the warp.
It's making it hazy.
Yeah, so you can still use it. It's just kind of like...
Obviously, if you're a really good Psyker, you'll be able to make your way there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yep. Next and last question is by Ivic Henry. Oh, this is easy. Thick sororitas or tiggle bitty tau?
We've answered this before.
Okay, what did you say?
I said tau.
I'm going to say sororitas.
Blue, daba, deba, da.
We'll do one more question since we've already answered that one. I have one from... well, that's not a question. Steve Rogers. Could a renegade Chaos Space Marine ever regret turning traitor and try to turn loyalist again?
Not really, because once you pretty much pledge your soul to Chaos, they have it and they will make you their slave. There's no regret because you're all in to Chaos.
Unless you're undivided and you're an Alpha Legion. Right?
I guess, yeah. I guess that's the exception.
But yeah,
forget everything I said.
It's not my fault. It's the Alpha Legion's fault. Those were the questions. If you guys have more for us, comment down below. Really good questions today. Hope you guys enjoy your Halloween, because I think this is coming out on Halloween. Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, it might be.
Yep. And yeah, thanks for everything, guys.
As always, keep giving us those spooky questions, just in case if it's not. Oh no, it's not. We still got one more, see?
Oh, we still got one more week. Oh, yeah. We have an entire week, so it'll be Halloween next week.
Yeah. If you're celebrating Halloween, cool.
You're a week early.
Yeah. A week early.
Yeah.
Boom.
And yeah.
Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
We're out of here.